Welcome to r/Entitled People, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story: fired, yelled at boss, given second chance, quit, booyah shaka. The second story: how nice that you can document everything. It helped a lot to avoid problems. The third story: the chapter's titled Rich Wife was the reason I was fired, and they still haven't found a replacement. The first story is: so I quit my job yesterday. I work, or should I say worked, for a fairly big traffic control company here in BC, Canada, as what could be best described as the assistant warehouse/fleet manager, or the manager's assistant. It was never really made clear in the 4 months I held this position. My tasks were to deliver and pick up equipment at job sites, pick up new equipment, fully arm the fleet of lane closure trucks with the proper gear, pick up new trucks, dropped off old ones, clean the warehouse and answer all calls and emails when the manager was away, program and deliver CMS boards, those orange LED message boards you see at or near construction sites, and in case of emergency, sent out as a temporary traffic control person and flagger. Aside from these duties, I was sent on a number of tasks outside of my job description, from delivering checks to the city engineering department, to picking up coworkers' lunches, to building IKEA beds, and refueling the owner's personal work truck. Last week I received a call from one of our lane closure technician, LCT, who had a problem with her truck. LCT: my truck shakes when I go to turn it on. I've tried to call my boss's name and tried texting her, but she's not answering. What should I do? Can you get a hold of her for me? OP: I'm not too sure what to do in this situation, but I can try and get a hold of her for you. Let me know if you need anything else. I hung up and texted my boss. I didn't hear anything back from her for the rest of the night, so I'm thinking cool, problem solved. The next day I get into work, and my boss asks me why I told the LCT that I couldn't help her. What? I told my boss what had happened and she understood, but the owner was peeved. Boss: owner's name wanted me to fire you. I told him no because you're needed here, and you've never done anything wrong. I called the LCT when I got out of a meeting, and she told me not to worry, the owner was helping me. So I texted him and he said, anything for you. This morning I get in, and he's floating 10 feet off the ground peeved. Wow. I'm a dead man over not knowing what to do in a situation I've never dealt with before. My boss tells me if that ever happens again, I'm to pick up one of our spare trucks and drive it out to the LCT, even at the risk of stranding myself wherever that location may be. Okay, now I know. I head upstairs to the owner's office. I get up there and he immediately calls me and the GM into his office. OP: I just wanted to come up here to apologize for misunderstanding. I now know what the procedure is in that type of situation, and it won't happen again. This is where he starts to verbally rip a strip out of me, talking about how much of an inconvenience it was for him to drive out to pick her up and set her up with a new truck, how I told her I can't help her, and how he pays me well to know what the F to do when it comes to my job. I again apologize and guarantee it won't happen again. Everything seems to be okay. I go and air my grievances with HR. She comforts me by saying I can't get fired like that there's a long process since I'm part of management. There'd be several HR meetings first, followed by write-ups. That was 2 Mondays ago. Fast forward to this week. On Tuesday, I was asked to assist in building 2 IKEA beds for our dispatch workers that were required to stay overnight. Assisting meant building them by myself. So I started. I got one half done before having to drive signs out to a location that took 1.5 hours round trip. I get back and complete the rest of it, with only a couple short vape breaks throughout the process, which took short of 4 hours to complete. Wednesday, I awoke throughout the night because of a bad feeling, as I had caught the flu my daughter so graciously brought home from school. My boss agreed with me not spreading it at work. Hours later, she texts me saying I have a meeting with HR the next morning. Thursday morning, 9 a.m. I get in and the receptionist says that the owner wants to talk to me. F. I go upstairs again and he calls me and the GM in again. He's peeved, and I could see his face turning red behind the spray tan. Owner: have a seat. I've decided to let you go. How the F do you tell an LCT that you won't help her? I went to bed last night peeved off at you. I pay you to do a task and you have your boss do your job? Boss's name came in early yesterday to put that bed together you didn't bother to come in to do. OP: I thought we resolved the LCT issue last week, and you're harping on Mr. a week later about. Owner: harping? Really? You're gonna say that to me? OP: harping, being, well, seeing as how you're letting me go, what do I have to lose really? Cue the yelling back and forth between owner and myself. Owner pauses for a minute. Do you like your job? Yes. Up until this moment I loved it. I'm giving you another chance. You have kids, I have kids. One more F up and you're gone. Now get the F out of my office and do your job. I head out and off to help a flagger with a message board. On the way, I have an emotional breakdown. I call my fiance and fill her in on what happened. I tell her I'm done with the company. She agrees. I call my mother, and after explaining what happened, I secure some emergency funds to help me until I secure a new job, so I don't have to dip into my savings. I get back to the office, inform my friendly coworkers of my decision before meeting with the GM and HR. I tell them that I feel I'm being bullied lately, and I won't be having it. I'm using my last chance to take the high road for myself and quit. Cue the violin music and tears from a couple people. It's Friday. I picked up my last check today, and I haven't felt this happy in quite a while. The second story is the meeting. It was a tense day. Getting called on the carpet is never fun. It felt like we had gotten summoned to the principal's office, something that I wasn't exactly unfamiliar with. In retrospect, I'd take back one of those statements I printed in my senior will, as some of the teachers aren't apparently fluent in sarcasm. It was still funny. Principal didn't agree. Anyways, this is recent past, like 2 years ago. We're in the world of commercial truck tire sales. It's very competitive and we need every client we can get. And today, one isn't happy. We load up a file folder with their history of everything we've sold them. We also have some quotes for products they haven't tried yet in case we can yet talk them in different directions instead of simply pulling the trigger and showing us the door, which they have indicated is very likely. Hence our request for a meeting. We might be getting our walking papers today, but we're going down with all guns blazing. The issue is trailer tires. This customer is in the business of delivering home goods. We service 2 clients that deliver different goods to the construction industry and use those trailers that have the forklift hanging off the back of the trailer. Today we're trying to explain why Trailer 4, or T4, has had the same tire RROS replaced 4 times in the last 2 months. Our contact there meets us, James. He's cool. It's his boss Oliver, who's looking all over the building, who's thrown the flag on this play. James ushers us into Oliver's office. After the normal pleasantries, we get down to business. We start dissecting each failure. James has to go get their records a time or two. Oliver had thought there were other tires on T4. Our preparations pay off as our records clearly show otherwise. James and Oliver agree to our first conclusion. T4 was first driven by a cowboy of a driver who abused the equipment. Those first 2 tires failed simply due to the fact that he ran over curbs and damaged the tires. Us having a picture of the bent wheel from one of the roadside calls helps considerably. The ice in the room thaws a bit. We had to diplomatically tiptoe up to that, but they agree. They actually let go of the driver due to similar issues. James hints the cowboy also may have ran the trailer overweight as well. He never scaled it, but the drivers make their loads up and James is an experienced hand and has seen a thing or two. But Oliver isn't about to let us off the hook yet. There's still 2 tire failures on T4 to explain, and he's made it known that it's their newest trailer, and it should be needing less maintenance, not more than the older units, especially after being reassigned to a different driver. The next tire is the tough one. Both myself and the commercial manager have looked at the carcass and come to the same conclusion. That they had a nail, lost pressure and ran to the point of failure. The tire is too far gone to find any such nail hole. We point out we haven't billed them for the tire or the call, and have sent the tire in for analysis. Also included in our presentation is different solutions. Due to the high scrub of spinning those trailers around in residential areas, some clients only want new trailer tires. This client has been happy with recap tires. We note that we switched to a better quality provider halfway in, and also pitch using new trailer tires as well, in an effort to avoid failures. Oliver and James look over the quotes. They digest that information. Then it's back on the attack. What about that last failure? Why, if you switched to the better provider, did that tire fail yesterday? Commercial manager. Well, we're certain that the failure was due to the metal hook on the strap causing a puncture. Clearly not a fault of the tire. Oliver is taken off guard. James too. Oliver. Strap? What strap? We slide over pictures of the mess we arrived to. The driver had failed to secure one of those large straps, and it had got sucked around the wheel, and no doubt the hooked end killed the tire. We play another card. It's an ace. We all go outside to where we not only brought the tire to show them, we brought them the very strap. That meeting was over. We left with handshakes all around. They kept their strap. I would have hated to be that driver. Oliver and James were kind of peeved about not being told about the reason why he needed a new tire and roadside service. And having misfired on us, I suspected Oliver was looking to unload on someone else. No matter to us, we had dodged a bullet, played it cool and won over a customer who's very happy to this day. Thank God for camera phones and smart tire guys for documenting everything. And the last story is, not going to give me the promotion? Fine, I'm gone. I'm a hard-working 34-year-old woman. I was employed at a non-profit for about 3 years. It wasn't the best job or the best paying job, but I liked all my coworkers and I liked that I was helping the community. One day the marketing person is moving on to another job. This guy was old school. Did things like put print ads in newspapers and actually recorded and put an ad on TV. I was excited because I thought I was a no-brainer to take his place after he left. I have a degree in new media and graphic design, and have extensive knowledge in video editing software, animation, and game design. As well, I knew the ins and outs of the company. I had also gone above and beyond in my job, helping the marketing department with new media projects, getting videos on YouTube, sound editing and cleanup, making an interactive training program in Unity, and more. I put in for the job and an interview gets set up. Everyone on my team is excited to have me as the new marketing person. Everyone thinks that this whole interview is mostly a formality. I do my interview and even do a presentation on how we can modernize our business for little to no costs, how we can do work with VR to help our clients, and excite donors to get more funding. The interview goes a full 2 hours over with the hiring community asking a ton of questions. It seems the hiring committee is excited about everything I was saying. Well, everyone but one lady, let's call her Karen, a 40-something, rich board member who's just sitting there silently. I don't think that there is a problem. Maybe Karen is just taking it all in. 2 weeks go by and I'm informed by the head of HR, a friend of mine, that I didn't get the job. I was crushed. I had been working so hard and was excited to make the nonprofit the best it could be. So I asked HR who was hired. She says, well, no one actually. Wait, what? So it seems they offered the job to a middle-aged white guy, who after getting the offer turned it down because he got a better offer someplace else. So I asked, well, why am I not getting the job? Turns out Karen said that if they just keep me in my current position, I'll still do all the work I was doing, and they won't need to pay me as much as if I got the marketing job. So I probably would never get promoted as long as Karen has any say in the matter. So I say, F this and tell HR that I'm going to be looking for other work, because I got screwed over hard and this is not cool. Then I tell my boss that I'm doing my job to the letter. I'm no longer going above or beyond, not helping any other departments with projects, etc. And I let them know that it's because there's no room for growth, and if I'm stuck in this job, this is all the work they're getting out of me. I immediately start sending out resumes and taking vacation and sick days to go to interviews. After about 6 weeks of this, I land a job at an amazing mobile game company as a game designer. The work is way more fun, takes half the energy, and I get a 2.5 times pay bump. I talked to my HR friend a few days ago, and Karen has been back from maternity leave for a few months now. And shocker, they can't find anyone to replace me in my old position. Nor can they find anyone qualified for the marketing job. Everyone that worked with me is so peeved about the situation and still says things like, shame blank isn't here to do that. You know who could have had this solved in 5 seconds? Blank. Or does anyone know how to do this now that blank is gone? Moral of the story, give your workers what they deserve. Reward hard work or you're going to lose your best people. I hope you love these stories. Subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications.